episode of Sleeping Giants, Red Star Belgrade. Now, in our last episode, we beat Cluj on aggregate, but not on the night, and I felt that was a little bit, they were a decent side on the day, so we'll give them credit for that. But we did get ourselves through to the next round, where, of course, we were drawn against Moulder. Now, Scully wasn't present at that particular fixture, but we are playing Moulder today, as well, in our live com. So, actually, before I get into that, there's a couple of things. Actually, just one big thing, and that is basically, I wanted to give a massive thank you to Red Star Belgrade. Their English Twitter account actually promoted it, which was really cool of them. So that's really awesome. So thanks, guys. So really thank you for that. That was really, really awesome. So if anyone's new that came over from that, then welcome. And I hope you enjoy what you see. So let's get into things this morning. Now, after that, I was dead set on getting into the league and making sure we had a real good crack at it. Now, of course, I'm still putting off signing a new goalkeeper. I decided to stick with Stankovic. The main reason as well, other than giving him a chance, is that we have Harriman is a key player at the moment. And when he comes back, which he will, and it looks like he might be back sooner than we think, still ages away, but sooner than it looked, he's going to still be a key player. So if I sign another goalkeeper, any decent one is going to want to be a key player. And I don't want to have two goalkeepers arguing with me and trying to upset the squad harmony. And because that seems to be a good way of getting sacked on this game, is to get players pissed off at you. Because genuinely, I've seen so much stuff on the internet now, people complaining about that particular thing, getting sacked because of squad harmony. And I'm not about to try and risk that right now. Not one we're doing quite nicely in this save currently. So with that in mind, I'm sticking with Stankovic. And I know, like, when you see goalkeeper mistakes, people will be like, oh my god, you need to sign a new goalkeeper. Well, no. As we've seen from FM, I've probably played about 1,000 games on FM this year so far, and no goalkeeper I've seen has ever been consistently good. Neither for me, and I can't have had bad goalkeepers on every single save I've done in every single goalkeeping iteration. You know, it's just not. No matter how good a goalkeeper's stats are, they seem to make stupid errors, like Lucas Vega on my Pompey save does. It's the same here. Now, of course, our goalkeeper at the moment isn't at such a high level, and therefore I guess you could expect him to make some mistakes. But my point is, signing a better goalkeeper is just going to cost us a load of money, and he'll still make stupid mistakes, because that just seems to be what they do. Goalkeepers, of course, do make lots of errors in real life as well, but perhaps not quite as many as we seem to be seeing on FM this year. Now, let's get into the games we've had this month. There's no new signings or anything. I'm kind of set on what I've got at the moment. I might start doing my new scouting regime again, starting soon when the first sort of youth intakes start coming in again, and we'll go from there essentially. But yeah, that's basically the plan. So let's get into things. We got our first game. First game of the month was against Spartac, and I really wanted to start the season off with I would have liked to have started the season off with a big win, but this one will do. And there is gripes I've got this month, and it's no real new gripe to anyone. It won't come as a massive surprise what my gripe is this month, and that is that in 3 of our games, the goal we've conceded has been their first shot on target, and it's so irritating, and it's starting to get to the point, it feels like it wasn't present towards the start of the game. Savicevic here was brilliant. He worked so hard in this game, and if you look at the amount of chances we had in this game, we deserved this win big time. 7 shots on target, 22 shots. I would have liked a few more shots on target, but the fact is, we did also create a lot of decent chances out of those 7 shots, so I'll let us off. But it was the fact that their goal, which is actually an equaliser, I should point out, was, again, first shot on target of the entire game, and only their second shot of the game. And they only had 2 shots in this entire match, and one of them was a goal. Which, I don't like the fact that that's constantly seems to be happening. It messes me up, and, it can't be the tactic, because how could a tactic allow them to have superb finishing with their first shot on target? That's not realistic, is it? Because if the tactic is so bad, we'd be conceding loads of goals, not just the first shot on target, you know? It was a disappointing one to concede. I felt there was perhaps, we could have done better. There was one particular goal of this month that, 2 defenders should be doing better there and not allowing Ubi Parip, that is a cool name, to put that ball on the net. Thankfully, we did push on, and I will say I mean Vukan Savicevic, who was amazing today. Bosancic's ball in here comes back to him eventually. He sort of pushed off the ball there. I thought potentially that was actually a penalty, but it turns out that no, that is not a penalty. And we've had a few interesting situations with penalties this month. Now, this is woeful defending from them. Savicevic takes an extra touch and is an empty net, and I have to say that certainly makes up for our poor defending. It was then 2-1, and that's his 4th goal of the season. Captain Vukan, who, he is now the captain, I believe, or it might just be because he was the only one on the pitch. Then we won a penalty, and of course, because he was on a hat-trick, Savicevic took the penalty and scored the penalty. Now, I've noticed that if a player is on a hat-trick, they seem to get given the penalty, and I'm not so sure I like that. I'd rather have my good penalty taker taking it. And it's fine when it's Savicevic, because the guy can take a penalty, but as you're going to see later, it's not so good when it's someone like Gajic, whose penalties aren't quite as good, I don't think. Now, so that was a good start. In our next game, though, bad things happened. And I was a little bit gutted at our performance in this one, because I felt that we were at least good enough to get a draw in this game. Seriously, I mean, look at these. We had a lot more chances, a lot more shots, everything, basically. And I know people say the stats don't matter. Well, they fucking do, because if you're having more shots, you're going to score more goals. It's pretty simple. If you don't shoot, you don't score. You know, the idea that stats are meaningless is incredible, because then if stats are meaningless, then so are goals, because goals are stats too. You know, they are meaningful. If you're not shooting, you're not scoring. The first goal was just a good finish, and yes, it wasn't actually their first shot on target of this game. That is something I would like to point out. Čukarički were decent to start with. They weren't great in this game, as you can see, but they were at least decent. We then won a penalty, which Milo Ristic, our first choice penalty taker, dispatched with all kinds of plums. Now, it's their second goal that made me hold my head in my hands. Yeah, I know, goalkeepers, blah, blah, blah. Don't need a new goalkeeper. It's just how they are on this game. Although, still, I gotta wonder, maybe, just maybe, I don't know. You'll see what I mean in a minute. This is a Monty Python goal, like, genuinely. There's so many errors in the lead up to this goal, but in particular what the goalkeeper does, and I don't know why he does it, but he has so many chances to not do what he does, basically. So the ball was kicked downfield, it's smashed straight back to him. Now watch. Oh, for God's sake, it's one of those stupidly long highlights. Apologies for this, guys. Eventually Stankovic is going to do something borderline, perhaps, yeah, just borderline something. He was terrible for that goal. Here we go, watch this. Heads it against the player, then lets the ball go straight past him. Like, just kick it. It's right there. And Mandic, of course, puts it in the net, and they win the game. So we've already lost our first game of the season. I felt we were a bit unlucky to lose that when you actually look at the amount of chances we had in this game. We should have put our chances to bed. That's for sure, but we shouldn't really have conceded that second goal. And that is just his fault, and it's stupid, and he shouldn't be doing that. So, poor start. What I would say, though, is that Partizan actually lost 4-1 at Napredak on the opening day, which gives us a little bit of leeway, because we're actually still level on points with them, so that's good. And, to be fair, I did rest a couple of players for that game, because I had our Champions League game against Molde coming up, and I wanted to make sure that we had, like, the key game in this tie for me was the home game. If we could get a big enough lead in the home game, then I think in the away game we can just be tight and try to do our best, essentially. So I did rest a few players, and I know that once we get into the group stages I'm not going to do that, because we do still have to concentrate on the league, but getting into the group stages is the key for the success of this series at the moment, and so I wanted to make sure that we did that. And if it means like losing a league game or two in these qualifying stages, then so be it. We can pick it up, as you've seen, later in the season, though I hope this year we do it a little bit better than we did last year. Now let's take a little look at this game. Now this game, Molde were definitely they were definitely worthy of a goal. Like, I wish we hadn't let them, but we did, and we've really been struggling to keep clean sheets. Like, they had 3 clear-cut chances, they had a decent number of shots and half chances and stuff. That they were decent and deserved themselves at least a goal from this game. And I think 4 for us maybe was a bit flattering. I'm not sure, but the point is we got it, and I would have taken a 3-0 probably over this. But 4-1 is still fairly decent, you have to say. It took us a little while to get going, but when we did, on 22 minutes here, there's a little bit of a melee in the box, and eventually the ball is going to come back off the crossbar, cleared away, and Milan Gajic will head it in for, I think, his first goal of the season. He's playing out on the right-hand side for this game. He's finally started getting some starts for us, and I think he could be quite a useful player this year. Obviously, he's going to be important because Vukan Savicevic he got injured in the Čukarički game and is out for 5 to 6 weeks with a sprained ankle, so that wasn't good. Then Mahatma Otto is played in, and of course he put the ball in the back of the net for his 6th of the season, and that means that, bear in mind, all 6 of his goals have come in the Champions League so far, so he's one of the top scorers in the Champions League currently. Bazan Vera then scored a penalty for us to make it 3-0, and I'm assuming he has decent penalties, because I can only assume that's the case. I think I did change it earlier this season, so that makes sense. 3-0 up just after half-time. Then we got a little bit better. Adamenko is really proving to be an insanely good footballer at the moment, genuinely. And, of course, Mahatma Otto was involved in this one. But Dragolub Cernic with a great strike there, in off the crossbar. Otto got 2 assists and a goal in this game, I think, as well. He's a monster of a player. He's sort of getting this year the kind of form that we saw from him 2 years ago. If he and Jovic, who's still not quite fully match fit, but I feel like when he does, he could potentially turn on the quality like he did last season. And if he can stay fit this year, we could be in for some interesting stuff. Bad defending at times from us as well there, but Coley puts the ball on the net. 4-0 would have been much more comfortable, but 4-1 is still pretty decent. It means if as long as we don't lose 3-0, then we're good, basically. Just don't lose 3-0. And if we can score ourselves a goal, then they're going to have to score 5 to beat us, or 4 to take it to extra time. So my plan is probably to try and score a goal there, of course. As you can see, an 8.8 there from Otto. Sorry, it was my phone making noises there. I always sometimes forget to turn it on to vibrate before we do these. Right. Also, in our next game, we, again out of nowhere, got the biggest league win that we've had, which was really, really pleasant. And if anything, it could have been even better. We actually missed a penalty in this game, and the reason I wanted to talk about earlier was, and yes, this is another one of those games that Bazania scored with their first shot on target. And for a long time it was their only shot on target. So irritating. We shouldn't be conceding goals in games like this, you know? If we had a goal for every 2 shots we had on target, this game would have been 1-8-0, so fair enough. Or 8-2. 8-1? Yeah, okay, so it wasn't far off in this particular game, but in other games it's never going to be like that. But in this one we actually took our chances. Adamenko was, again, superb. Ball in this time was clear, but he has put some great crosses in later on in this game. Mahatma Otto as well, in this game, I believe, got himself 2 more assists. He is just... If you want a player that's going to score you some goals, hold up the ball brilliantly, and create assists for fun, then Mahatma Otto is your man. Say you're in, I don't know, like a German... I think he'd be good for the Bundesliga. If you've got a team in the Bundesliga, pick up Mahatma Otto. Look at that for a header as well. He's great in the air. He's just an awesome, awesome player. His 7th goal of the season already, obviously 6 of which have come in the Champions League, but I'm sure he'll get goals in the league as well. Ristic then has a free kick which is saved, batted into the net in the end by Gajic for his 2nd goal of the season and his first of the night, and it was a hell of a game for him, I have to say. Bear in mind, he scored a hat-trick today, and he missed a penalty, because they gave him the penalty to wrap up his hat-trick, which he of course missed, but he did of course wrap up the hat-trick later on, so he actually could have had 4 today. What a ball that is. Gavrich with wonderful control, whips it back across, it's then blocked. It's still 2-0 at this point, so the game kind of got away from them late on. They did have a man sent off, and I think that kind of was a contributing factor to that, I have to say. Antic as well, just so much work out on that wing. We look like a decent side, and I think Bazan Vera is an extra component to the team that I really like. It's nice to have a player come in the summer this year that can actually slot straight in. Otto again there, Gajic just takes a few touches into the penalty area and gets himself another goal. He has a lot of composure cutting in off that side, and I'm very, very pleased with that. I am training Savicevic to play on the left as well, because I really do want him to be a complete attacking midfield player. Then, of course, they got their only goal of the game when Matovic went through and scored here. Maybe a suspicion of offside even, but it was their first shot on target of the game. They had another clear-cut chance later on, I have to say, which probably could have done better with. So at that point, it is, 3-1. So I thought, okay, well, disappointing, because we'd been so dominant at that point. I thought it was just going to be another game like Spartac where you're dominant but you only win sort of 3-1, and I wanted to make sure that our goal difference this year was a little bit better, and we scored a lot more goals than we did last year. That's the plan basically this year. We're going to be a little bit more goal heavy, and I think as long as Otto, Jovic and those types of players stay fit. This is a great piece of work from Adamenko as well. What a touch that is. Dink to the back post, and Jovic to smash it in for his first of the season. This was his first sort of start for us, I think. He came off after 65 minutes because his match fitness is still not fully there yet. But I wanted to give him... It was a bit of a risk playing him because his match fitness was still only 78%. But I just want to make sure that I want to get him to 100% match fitness as quick as possible. Because once he is fully fit and starting games for us and not getting injured, he is going to be an absolute monster. What a strike from Kovacevic as well. I think that was what made it 5-1 on 71 minutes. They were down to 10 men at this point. So it was a bit of a case of stop hitting yourself once the game had reached this point. That didn't stop us from hitting them, though. Oh, no. We had more pain to inflict. Otto this time, ball back to Gajic, and Gajic this time completing his hat-trick with a lovely finish there for his 4th of the season. He may have been a bit out of the team last year after signing for the club, but this year I think he's going to get his chance, and I'm pleased about that. It's just the sort of slow conveyor belt of talent that we're bringing through here, and I think it's going to work. I think my little youth conveyor belt idea is going to work for us. It's going to take a couple of seasons before we really start to see the results of it, but I think next year you'll start seeing some of them playing in our first team, some of the first batch that came through this year. And obviously there's loads of new players coming in, so it's just going to be a constant stream of young talent joining the club. Goalmouth Mela here, and Milutin Meletic was able to make it 7-1. So what more do you want from a performance? Great stuff. Now we just need to do that more often. Now, obviously, that means we are going to be a little bit short on a couple of players for today's game, but I don't know. I just felt like we needed to get a good win in the league there to try and control things, and we've done enough in the first leg to, I think, do this tie, but we'll see. So, top goal scorer for us, of course, is Mahatma Otto with 7 goals in 9 appearances, all starts, and he also has 9 assists. He's a top goal scorer for us and the top assister by quite some distance now. He is a phenomenal player. Only one man of the match award, interestingly. Savicevic and Ristic are top of that. And I think the reason that Otto has only got one man of the match award is because he's got those 9 assists and 7 goals pretty much by being so consistent and making sure he gets at least one or something in every single game, whereas Savicevic has got himself a hat-trick. You know, he'll they're coming in bursts, so he looks really good in one game but then kind of fades away in other games. And I think that's why Otto doesn't do that. But for me, he's one of the most consistent players we have. Yellow cards, Lazic has already got 4. You need to calm down, son. Average rating, Ristic has got an 8.31 from 9 appearances. That is superb. Really, really good. Key pass is 44 now. He can pick a pass. Oh boy, can he. So that's good. Key tackles, Bazan Vera and Adamenko, interestingly. A fullback making a lot of key tackles, which is nice to see. Key aerial challenges, of course, is Bazan Vera with quite a lot there. Most mistakes made, of course, that is going to be Ristic, but that's no big deal. I'm quite happy to let him have that when you look at how well he's playing in other areas of the pitch. So, let's get into today's game against Molde. Now, you'll notice that Olympiacos are probably going to go through against Lech Poznan. It doesn't matter, because we're not going to be in the same group as them anyway, I wouldn't have thought, unless we're suddenly seeded, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Now, they're actually playing a very similar system to what we are, and it looks slightly different to the one they played in the first leg. But I still feel that this is our strongest system. We're going to just do a quick pick here to see who's actually good enough. Is Jovic fit? Is it worth it? Part of me doesn't feel it's worth it. But then, who do we bring in? That's the problem. Because Otto isn't really looking great for fitness either. It is a difficult one. We've still got a lot of players struggling for match fitness at the moment. Like Despotovic is not ready yet. And that is one of the downsides of having those early qualifying games, is you don't get enough chance to get match fitness back before the season starts. You can't play enough friendlies in that time because there isn't time, which is why I'm very much looking forward to in a couple of seasons us getting put into a later qualifying round. So it means that we've got those extra 2 or 3 weeks to play lots of friendlies and get the match fitness much, much higher. So we don't have to get these injuries that we're getting in the pre-season area. So we're going to have to go with this for now, I think. Ristic is not... Oh, yes, he is. But Cernic is not fit either. Oh, no, 76. No chance. Right, okay, this is going to have to be our best bet for today. I'm praying that Luka Jovic doesn't pick up an injury or something. That would be the worst result for us right now. But having him start this game could also be key, because he didn't start the game away at Moulder, and it might be that he is actually the sort of missing link, so to speak. Someone also pointed out that the reason we couldn't see the opposition instructions thing on... the game against Jeunesse desk was because we just simply didn't know enough about them, and there was no point in doing opposition instructions, which makes sense, actually. And I think I've had that before on a save. I think it might have been on a St. Pauli save when I did a pre-season game and we didn't have any information on them. So there you go. That's why that was, and I was quite impressed that that's even a feature of the game. But I like the depth. Right, let's see. We can always bring Otto off the bench to go into that deep lying role later on in this game, if we do need him, because he can hold that ball up for us so well. Basically, the only mission for today's game is to just not concede 3 goals. Provided we don't concede 3 in this game, we're through. Nothing they do will make any difference unless they score at least 3 goals. I'd like to see us score one as well. If we could score a goal here, then I think that would be game, set, match. Oh, hello, Ristic with the cross. It's a good ball in, actually. Gajic with the header. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. What a chance that was. After 11 minutes, we could have put the icing on the cake in this tie, really. I'd have said 1-0 up there and you're really in trouble. But the one thing I don't want is for them to score too early. Like, if they score a goal in the first half, we could find ourselves just getting a little bit twitchy, and I don't want that. I want us to be nice and confident. Spaces. They've got lots of players back. Oh, what are you doing? What even happened there? I suppose we're going to have another... it's literally them scoring with their first shot on target. Admittedly, it is a penalty, but nonetheless, it's 1-0 to Moulder. That's not ideal. We started the game quite well, but they've gone and got the goal. Wow, their pitch is like a snooker table. Hussein there with the goal for Moulder. Oh, Stankovic very nearly kept that out. Well done, son. It wasn't your fault we considered the penalty, so well done for nearly keeping it out. But we do need to be a little bit careful here. Like, it is a worry, like, to concede a goal that early on in this game. I don't want to change anything too soon, because that's not really a fair shape of the game. I can't really read much from a penalty. We don't really know how the game's going. That being said, we've not really done much since they scored that penalty. What can we do? What I might do is what I did in the game earlier this season is actually drop deeper. They've got 2 strikers on the pitch, so if we just drop a little... Oh my goodness gracious, well done, great clearance. Gavrich now. Can he bring the ball away? That's a little bit of a poor pass, but if this is headed down poorly, which it isn't, I just want us to drop a little bit deeper, just so they've not got quite so much space in behind us, and that's great defending again from Adamenko. We've got 2 bookings already, haven't we? That's a bit worrying. Ristic there knocks it up to Militic, out to Gajic. Gajic is going to need to be important for us today. Kovacevic. As is Jovic. If Jovic can put in a performance that, oh, it's through here. Jovic, good first touch. Can he score? Oh, he's missed it. That was a big opportunity for us there. Luka Jovic really should have done better. He's probably still a little bit rusty, but I would have liked to have seen a goal there. Or at least hit the... oh, man. Who do we have? Is it Kovacevic on the bench? Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at the bench. I have to do it like this just so I can see who's actually suitable for the role. That's the last thing we need right now. Kovacevic is already on the pitch. What about the bench? It's going to have to be Miele, one of our youngsters. So, hey, you're going to get the first chance to see what Carmine Miele's capable of. If he pops up with something heroic today, then so be it. That would be glorious of him, but we need to do better than we are. Militic. Gajic. Oh, poor first touch. Here's Kovacevic. Long ball out wide to Gavrich. Can he find a pass? It's Jovic getting across his man, and another big save from the goalkeeper there. We really should... Why is that not counted as a shot on target? What? How is that not a shot on target? The goalkeeper literally saved it. That's weird. Miele now. Can he show us a bit of that potential that we think he might have? Militic. Jovic needs to be making a run, or will it go back to... Oh, dear. Come on, guys. Don't be 2-0 down at half-time. That's problem territory. Miele, that's good. Working the ball quickly. Not dwelling on it. Don't lose the ball here. Out wide to Adamenko. If we can get a goal back before half-time, that would make me a lot more comfortable. Adamenko with the cross. Kovacevic, and it's cleared. And, oh, wait, no, it's not. Adamenko's going to keep this in. He's got Miele for support here. Don't lose the ball, Carmine. Just play it into Gajic. That's it. Round the corner, perhaps. Militic. Will he shoot? He does shoot. It is 1-1 here in Norway. Lovely work there from Milutin Militic. That is what we've deserved, really. I mean... We've had a couple of good chances and we've failed to take them. We've taken quite a difficult one there. Nice work from the Ellie there. Didn't get flustered on the ball. And I think, you know, what I've seen of him so far, he's looked pretty decent. Maybe the goalkeeper should do better there, but Militic has made it 1-1, and that is important for us, really. 5-2 on aggregate now means they still have to get 3 goals. And that's a lot to ask of them in the second half, you'd have to say. And I'm hoping that that means that we should be going through to the next round of the Champions League. But don't speak too soon, is the word of advice there on FM. So let's just make sure we, changing a few things up there. I think I'm also just interested to see how Miele does playing a full second half of football here for us. I'll tell you what, there's a bit of space there. I might have to bring off Jovic. Oh, Gajic is through, and it is already, wow, out of nowhere. 2 wonders for Ravina Vezda. Wow, that is literally, we've flipped the game on them with 2 goals in about 5 minutes of game time. That is lovely football from us as well. Very, very quick up the pitch. Nice little ball through from Militic here. And Gajic, again, proving that he's a really good finisher from that inside forward position, just dinking it to the far post, and that is 2-1 to us. And surely now, what do they need? They need to win this. They need 5 goals now. They're not going to get 5 goals. Like, I don't care how bad we are. If we concede 5 goals in the next 40 minutes, I'll be absolutely angry. Absolutely angry. Just quickly change a few things. No. No changes necessary. Okay. I'm thinking about 65 minutes would be a good time to get Luka Jovic off and get Otto on, just because Jovic isn't still fully fit, and he's put in a good shift. I don't think he's really contributed too much yet, but it'd be nice if he could get a goal before he does go off. Kovacevic, Gavrich out wide. Ball across to Luka Jovic, and it's well saved by Hussein. Mazalin, sorry, my bad, I got a little bit confused there. We've certainly started to turn on the quality as this game's worn on. I actually was a little bit worried at first, but when you look at it, they've actually only threatened from that penalty. They did have another good chance, didn't they, which they failed to take. Oh, ball around the other side. Hussein is in here, and a great save from Stankovic. Well done, son. Good goalkeeping. I could easily see those going, and Hussein with the ball in again, and well done Stankovic grabbing that through a crowd of people. The young goalkeeper he's doing his best, and let's give him credit for that. He's doing a decent job at least. He's making saves I would expect him to make, and that's fine. That's all I really expect of him right now. Right, we're going to get Mahatma Otto on to play deep lying forward, so we'll get him off there, and then we'll switch him over with Militic because he's just better in that role. I've got to be careful. We've only got 1 more sub left. I might just leave that in case we get an injury. Hopefully we won't, but it's just good to get Jovic off now. He's got through another game, he's got 65 minutes of match time under his belt, and he's not injured from that. So I think, a couple more games and a couple more substitute appearances perhaps, and I think he should be ready and fully match fit and ready to tear some teams apart in the league and in the Champions League, hopefully. He could be that key for us, that little bit of extra quality that might be the difference between us losing and winning games in Champions League this year. Lazic, don't screw it up. I'm hoping we can get a group with a team that we can beat, basically. That's my plan. I want to just try and get us another win this year. And maybe if we could do better in some of the other games against the teams, maybe get ourselves that third place this time. I feel like it's about time we got it. Oh, Militic perhaps could have done better there as well. We've been decent. Neither team has really been great in terms of getting shots on target in this one. Let's close them down anyway. I might make the last sub now just to sort of give Bazan Vieira a little bit of a rest. He's the sort of most tired player on the pitch, and I can't afford for him to get an injury. So we'll just get him off quickly here. Even if it leads to a goal, it won't matter, although it would be nice to win home and away against them. Quite impressive as Militic. Has he got a ball on? He has. It's Gajic out wide. Surely not another goal for him. Back across, it's Gavric making it 3-1. It is 3-1 to Red Star, 7-2 on aggregate. And, well, it's been a surprisingly comfortable away win, actually. I thought Moulder were a better team than this. Lovely ball back across from Gajic to Gavric on the opposite wing. And it's great to see Nenad Gavric get his first goal of the season. So, good performances all round, really, from us. 3-1 win here, coming from behind, showing real quality. And I think this has been the most breezy, kind of easy route to the group stages that we've had at any stage yet. And I think, okay, yeah, some of the teams we're playing aren't quite as good, but I think we're also just getting better, which is good. It's good on two levels, That's a poor ball, though. Maybe less of that if you could, guys. A few seconds to go. Hopefully they won't score in these few seconds. It seems unlikely that they're going to, but you never know with these things. And there you go. It is 3-1 to Red Star, and that is exactly what we needed. Gajic has had an absolutely lovely day, so that will do for us nicely. Wow. Collier's got a lot of goals up until this point, but there you go. So yeah, a comfortable win, and a win which I feel we definitely deserve. So we are going to do the Champions League draw in a second, so I will join you guys in the draw so you can see who we get. Before that, just like to point out that Mihajlo Vrisic has pulled his bloody hamstring, which means he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Not good at all. In better news, we've been awarded £6.88 million for getting to the Champions League group stages. That feels like less than last time. I don't know why it does, but here we go. We're at the group stage draw now, so let's get into it. Right, so I presume we are almost certainly in the lowest pot, which would make sense. Yep, there we are, with our 29.3 thing. So we've still got a long way to go to get up another pot, but, let's just do this. Wow, Montenegrin side, Sujecka Niksic actually got themselves into the group stages, so massive props to them. That's incredible. Look at their coefficient. Right, automatic draw, let's do this. I don't know who we want. I think it doesn't really matter who we get. It's going to be tough, so, let's just see if there is one with an easy... I think the key for us is who's drawn from pot 3 in the group, basically, because pot 1, they're all sides we're never going to have any hope in hell of beating, basically. So it's more important... the 2 and 3s, basically. So let's see. Schalke, tough tie. Porto, again, tough. Liverpool, probably very tough. Lyon. Well, actually, we've beaten Lyon before. Yeah, we have, actually. Napoli. Sevilla, maybe? Zenit? One of, D, G, or H would be okay. Potentially. Shakhtar. Let's see who gets drawn into Group D. Dinamo Kiev. I tell you what, that wouldn't be a bad one. If we could get ourselves into Group D... G or H would be good to see who gets in. Moss CSK, perhaps? Tottenham. Okay, we don't want that one. They'll be quite difficult. D or G would be ideal. If we could get D or G. Come on. Oh, no. That's crazy tough. Bayern, Liverpool, and Red Bull Salzburg again. Those bastards just can't keep their hands off of us. That being said, we beat them in the playoff last time, so maybe there's winnable games there. There's potential for us to beat Red Bull Salzburg in that, I think, over 2 matches, perhaps. We can certainly beat them at the Maracanã. So, who knows? Liverpool and Bayern are going to be tough, though, but it'd be great to see us. We're going to get to play against Liverpool, so that's going to be fun. I think it's the first time we've played an English team. So there you have it, guys. Let's see what we're going to be doing for the next episode. I don't know exactly when the group stages are, of course, but yeah, the first game of the next episode will be our first Champions League group stage game, as always. So, if you like what you're seeing, please feel free to drop a like on the episode, and if you'd like to even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock, and I will see you guys in the next episode for that game. Bye-bye.